talk about how we are not just vessels, but a vessel is sort of a old school word that could either mean like a bowl or basket or something, but also like a blood vessel, something that can receive liquid or other things. He says that just like those things receive, we receive life. And he describes it a little more here.
There is a generally held belief that there is life in us, that it belongs to us, and that therefore we are not only vessels for receiving life, but we ourselves are life. This common belief derives from the way things appear to be, because we are alive. That is, we sense, think, speak, and act completely as if we had autonomy. Therefore, the statement that we are not life, but are vessels for receiving life, cannot help but seem like something completely unheard of before, or like a paradox that goes against our sense-oriented thinking, because it goes against the way things appear to be. It is unreasonable to think that the infinite could create anything other than what is finite, and that human beings, because they are finite, are anything other than forms that the infinite is able to bring to life from the life he has within himself. Because God is infinite, he is life in itself. This life is not something he can create and then transfer into a human being. That would make the human being God.
I like how Swedenborg says that all life is coming out of God, the life that's in all of us right now. This is God putting that into us, but he acknowledges that's not how it feels. I mean, it doesn't feel at all like you're living from some other source. It feels like you're, whatever that means, living from yourself. It's just that I get up in the morning because of something inside me and I go do this. I don't sense any sort of inflow or influx or anything like that. So at least he gives that a nod, but he does say we're plugged into this pipe, this divine pipe that gives us life as we go. However, it doesn't seem like that pipe is there, and that's by design. And actually, you'll see reference to this dynamic in the Bible if you look at it through Swedenborg's correspondence lens. And this is apparent in Genesis 2:24. And these correspondences that it's going to seem like I'm just fabricating these out of thin air, but he's consistent about these things standing for these things. You can go read his Secrets of Heaven or Arcana Celestia series to get way more info than you'd ever want on that. But it says here, this is why a man leaves his father and mother and is united to his wife, and they become one flesh. According to Swedenborg, the father and mother, this is not talking about mom and pop. It's talking about divine love and divine wisdom. But we leave and cleave to our wives, all of us, male and female. What that means is you have this sense of independence or this sense of autonomy is the wife. That we go and leave this direct feeling of input from God to this feeling like we live on our own. And that's actually part of the divine design because we couldn't unite to God without this sense of selfhood. It's a basic principle of love that you can't enter into a loving relationship with someone else if that person isn't free to accept or reject on their own power. So if we didn't feel like we could make these choices autonomously, it would be like God is just forcing us to love God, and then that's not love. You can't get love without freedom. We have to be free. And we've talked about this before. We actually did 2 shows about the essential nature of the freedom dynamic. And then some people might say, that's annoying. People always say free will, but we say free will. Yeah, we do. And these 2 episodes both have extensive pieces in them on why freedom is not just like butter on top of the human consciousness toast. It's the whole, it's the toaster, it's the bread, it's everything. It's a great metaphor. There has to be freedom for us to be conscious, autonomous individuals. So you got that freedom in there, and that's fine. God is working with that. It creates this sense of separateness, though. Because of it, we don't feel like we are connected to God in the way we do, because if we felt that, we wouldn't be able to have any latitude to move around freely. We do have a form, though, that is built to receive this life, and we can learn a little about the structure of it from what Swedenborg reported. This is True Christianity 471. What is life except the inmost activity of the love and wisdom that come from God and our God? It could also be called the living force itself. Surely no one does deny or could deny that everything good that relates to love and everything true that relates to wisdom comes solely from God. Well, you do find people that deny that, but not to be argumentative. To the extent that we receive those qualities from God, we are alive from God and are called born of God. That is, regenerated. And that's an interesting twist on it, that we can actually become more and more alive, spiritually speaking, by how much we recognize this connection we have with God and how much we turn and open to it.